Hey everyone, Michael here with Hello Cupcake It's Me, and today is the Wednesday check-in. It is Wednesday, August 20th, 2025, and isn't it a fun time to be alive? If you haven't done so already, please hit like and subscribe, then head on over to podcast.hellocupcakeitsme.com to check out the podcast that is updated every Thursday. Also, head over to the blog, hellocupcakeitsme.com, to check out everything that I post over there that I don't make a video about or post anywhere else. Make sure that you follow me on all the different socials. You'll find the links in the description down below. And if you want to check out my book, Carpe Diem Scroto, 365 Daily Affirmations, you can do so by going to www.cdsthebook.com. So, I have a lot to unpack in this video, so it might run a little bit long, but I just got done hearing the most amazing, affirmation of healing that I've come across in a very long time. It is a little bit spiritual, but if you are not Christian, you're not spiritual, whatever, still listen to the words and tweak it to better fit and suit your personal religious or non-religious beliefs. Y'all know that I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious. And all that other stuff. But forgive me because I'm dyslexic and I also have a hard time reading and I sometimes stutter over words. So please listen to the message the best that you can, okay? The chosen ones, they were sent into families that didn't see them, didn't honor them, didn't deserve them. They were born to broken mothers who were broken, fathers who were cold, siblings who turned into bullies, uncles who crossed lines, aunts who whispered lies, cousins who joined in the mockery, and worse, they had flying monkeys. Family members who enabled the abusers, who gaslit, triangulated, and kept the cycle spinning, all while telling you to be quiet, to forgive, to respect your elders. But what happens when your elders are the very source of your trauma? The chosen ones didn't just survive pain, they were assigned pain. They were placed in toxic environments so that they could break the chains and rebuild the bloodlines from the inside out. They were always the black sheep, the scapegoat, the one everyone blamed but secretly feared because their light revealed the truth. They told you that you're too emotional, you're too dramatic, but really they were afraid of your spiritual fire because you saw what they were hiding. You felt what they pretend didn't exist. Narcissistic families will isolate the chosen one because the chosen one is the mirror. You reflect what they refuse to heal. You expose what they tried to bury. So they send their flying monkeys to shame you, to lie on you, to make you question your own reality. But here is what they never expected: that you'd survive and that you'd awaken, that your pain would become prophecy. Because God didn't forget you, He hid you while He let them betray you, let them mock you, let them throw you away like trash. So that when you rise, they would know they were in the presence of divine royalty. But the chosen one's path is lonely, but it leads to liberation. You cried in silence, you healed alone. You broke generational curses they didn't even know existed. And now you're transforming. Your DNA is shifting. Your frequency is rising. You're becoming the light body. You are no longer trapped in their web. You're free and you don't need their validation. You don't need their apology because you are becoming the ancestor they'll pray to one day. The narcissist may have planted the pain, but God planted purpose, and now the chosen ones are waking up, one by one, rising from the ruins, transforming pain into power. So if you've been hurt by family, if you've been betrayed, lied on, and abandoned, just know that you were never the problem. You were the awakener, the spiritual one, the cycle breaker, the proof that God will raise up a warrior from the same family that tried to destroy them. Y'all, when I tell you that hit me harder than anything has in a while, I feel validation in that. You know, we are the reflections of our broken childhood, of our broken household, of all of the transgressions trespassed upon us in our growth, in our development, in our life. And it is because of that that we are the person that we are today. Some people have taken all that pain and just turned it into anger and hatred and disgust and disdain, and thinking that they are the victim when actually they are both the victim and the perpetrator, because they are continuing that cycle. They are continuing the very same things that were said in a moment of hatred, in a moment of anger, in a moment of fear. You know, each generation carries the invisible chains of the past with them, because what your great great grandparents did to your grandparents did to your parents, did to you. You are pulling that trauma, that hurt, that deep-seated unworthiness with you throughout your entire life, not ever realizing that is not your burden, that is not your cross to bear. And it's always like, well, what did I do wrong? What could I have done to make my family love me more? What could I have become to make it so that people liked me or loved me more? It was never about you. It was about them and the generations previous to them, all culminating to dump on you as you are today. Those people who are truly trying to heal and to exist and to build themselves up and not be the people that their parents or grandparents or whoever raised them are those are the light workers. Those are the people that are trying to break those generational traumas, trying to break those generational curses, trying to create and forge a world in which they deserve. We don't deserve the pain and suffering that is inflicted upon us by anyone. And a lot of times that pain and suffering that is inflicted upon us comes from exterior forces, because that person is broken, that person is hurt, that person is unhealed. And I realize that I'm pointing at the camera, which makes it look like it's pointing at myself, because I am unhealed, and so are you. There's things in both of our lives that still need healing, that still needs working on, that we may not feel that we have the power to work on. We may not feel like we have the strength to carry on, but look at all the shit that we've lived through. I know that I've lived through my fair share of trials and tribulations and things that I should not have walked away from. and I'm pretty sure you may have also. If I let looking back at the entirety of my timeline, if I let every single one of those cataclysmic events in my life stop me in my tracks, my story would have ended at 10 years old, maybe even sooner. But I'm standing 10 toes down in the sand, like on business, that 10 years old would be when my story ended. The next time that it would have ended would have been when I was 13 and shot at and chased through several city blocks by gang members. The next time after that would have been when I was 14, between 14 and 16, when I was very heavy in the drug culture. Never did them, but I was very heavy in that culture. I was around tweakers and people who were manufacturing drugs. I knew who had what, when they had it, who was going to go get what from who, how they got the money to go do all of that, who was running what for who, all that shit. Also, during that time period is when I was preyed on. Not like in a religious, you know, I'm praying for you, but preyed upon by family member. And that in its own right should have ended me. I should have been ended the countless times that I drove home drunk from the bar after working an 8.5 hour shift, getting up at like 5 o'clock in the morning to get out the door and get to work by 7 so that I could open the store at 8 and work from 8 until 6 o'clock to close the whole store down and get out of the store by 6:30, 7 o'clock to make the nightly deposit, to then drive to the nearest nightclub bar and stay there until 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning and drive 70 miles home drunk. Yeah. Are the many times that when I was in college that I was hyper inebriated, had no business standing up, let alone getting behind a car and driving 25 miles home, and blacking out when I got into the car and waking up in my driveway with the engine cold and having no recollection of how I got from point A to point B, going over massive intersections and like highway overpasses and things like that. Of when the house burnt down and I ran back into the house multiple times trying to put out the flames. I should have died during that time period, breathing in all that smoke and being hyper vigilant and trying to figure out what the fuck to do in a house that is actively burning down, but me with my little water hose hoping against hope that we weren't going to lose everything. That house could have collapsed in on me and I could have been trapped in the rubble and burnt to death. When I was in the hospital, because I spent an entire year being sick and not taking care of myself because I didn't have medical insurance, and it was easier for me to actively die through neglect of my own self and through, family not really caring to being stuck in the ICU for what was it, 2-3 weeks. Like, I was so bad that they kept me in ICU triage for at least a week and a half before they moved me up to ICU 3. So there's a number of times that I should have passed on and that I should have died. All the times that I've had my mental health just crash down around me and thought about suicide, sat there and actively holding the means to my demise in my hand and realizing, not right now. Like, through all that darkness screaming in my head, a small little sliver of hope, of light, smallest voice, not yet, not now, not like this. So this is not where I wanted this video to go at all, but this hit me, and that whole quote thing is actually going to go into one of the books that I'm writing right now, because it fits so perfect, and it's going to be like the preamble. I'm going to try to find the original author of it or whatever, but yeah, this is going to make it into the book, and I'm going to change it because I don't want it to be spiritual. I don't want it to be whatever. So yeah. Anyways, moving on from there. now that we're done with the heavy, there is a little caveat to that. So with all of that having been said, that is why I always end every single video with, you're doing the best you can with what you have available to you. Because it's true. You may not have been set up with everything that you needed to excel in life, but every step forward that you make with intention and with positivity and with the hopes of healing and growing and becoming something so much more than what you came from, that in itself is commendable. And that is what I mean by you are doing the best you can with what you have available to you. So now we'll move on from that at almost 20 minutes later. The last few days have been very, very, very difficult and very trying for me. I went through about a 3 or 4 day depression. It really started on like Friday of this last Friday, and carried over until Monday or Tuesday. And there were a few days there where I was so upset that it was making me physically ill and I could not eat. And that is one thing that I normally never have a problem with, is eating. I'm a comfort eater. And you can tell from as big as I am, I'm very comfortable. But since I have been walking and working out and doing all the things that I need to do and have done to like build myself back up, I've found that things have changed dramatically for me. And I'm okay with that, you know. I'm like, yesterday I went out walking with a friend and we hit up 2 different trails and ended up doing almost 3 miles, and I wasn't ready to go home yet. I was like, let's do this. Let's go do another like 2 miles. I was ready for it. And once I got home though and started resting, my God, my back and my legs and everything else were like absolute trash. But at the time, I was ready to go. Um, I was in so much pain at one point, I couldn't even turn over in my bed. So once I was able to fully turn over and like move, I took a couple of ibuprofens just to like relieve some of the inflammation and the swelling that was happening in my joints. Um, I have deterioration in my lower back. My doctors said that I have degenerative spine disease, disorder, syndrome, whatever the hell you want to add on to the end of that. And I'm noticing it more and more as I get older, which is kind of another reason that I'm trying to lose some weight. I still don't have a good weight in number. I'm assuming it's about 35 pounds at this point because from June 16th to July 10th, I had dropped 20 pounds. And so it's July 10th to August 20th, and I've still been active. I've still been doing my walking and other exercises and stuff like that, watching how I eat, when I eat, what I eat, doing portion control, the whole 9 yards. And yeah, there is some noticeable changes also in the way that my clothes are fitting. My underarms are not at, like, you can see the flab down here, but all the way up to my elbow used to be super flabby, and I'm starting to get the wrinkling from like the skin shrinking. Like my muscles are starting to get larger, and my legs, my thighs have gotten significantly smaller. Well, leaner. They're not smaller, they're just leaner. And when I'm laying in bed at night, I can feel like different muscles and tone that wasn't there like 6 months ago. My calves are starting to get really muscular looking. They're getting really shapely. I no longer have that like kinkle thing going on. You can see that there's a clear definition between where the calf muscle ends and the ankle begins. Though on the days that my feet are swelling, it still shows up, but I'm noticing the changes in my own body, but I don't see the physical changes that everyone else does because, well, I live with myself 24/7. I see the world from my eyes. I don't see the world from other people's eyes. So people have said, I've noticed that you look like you're that you're like losing weight, you're slendering, you're slimming down, you look happier, you look healthier. We've noticed the way that you walk, how you're just like quicker in your movements and everything else. And it's like, oh, okay, well, awesome. Didn't realize I was this like fat slug sloughing my way through the world, but okay, I'll take it. So yeah, I'm excited about it. And I also told you guys that I joined a fitness challenge, and well, I got my welcome letter in the mail yesterday, and I'm excited about it. I haven't opened it yet because the challenge doesn't start until September 1st, and I am going to open it on the 29th so that I think August only has 29 days in it. But yeah, I'm going to open it on like the 29th or the 30th. Okay, August has 31 days. So Saturday, August 30th is when I'm going to open this and share it with you all and kind of go over my stratagem for how I'm going to complete my 50-mile challenge that starts September 1st to October 31st. So I'm excited. I cannot wait to open this up. Like, you can see that it's still sealed, and I'm holding on to this until that time, but I'm so anxious to see what's in there. But yeah, like, here it is. So that's who I'm going through, myadventurechallenge.com. I am not a paid sponsor or receiving any kind of kickback for this. This is 100% something that I paid out of my own pocket to get to take part of. I'm sorry, I couldn't think. But yeah, there's our information right there, My Adventure Challenge. And you can see www.myadventurechallenge.com and their address and so on and so forth. So, really excited about that. Also, last night when I was at the bar playing trivia, several different people kind of inserted themselves into my little journey that I'm undergoing right now, because, you know, I want to do this, for me, huge hike for a more seasoned pro. Not too bad of a hike or whatever, but it's just like, why now? Like, have I become that inspiring to other people that they want to, like, latch on and join me in my journey? And there's another person that was just like, yeah, I'll start doing this with you. I'll start doing XYZ with you. And it's like, okay. I mean, if you want to try, you're more than welcome to. Like, I can't be a fitness Nazi and be like, absolutely not. You know, this is my journey or what have you. Because I would like to walk with a group of people, but when I go to do my big walk hike thing, there's a lot of things that are going to be happening during that time period. One of them is going to be that I'm going to take a notebook with me, and I am going to write and journal everything that I think, feel, and experience during that time period. And it's also kind of like a solo pilgrimage, you know, the culmination of over 5 years worth of planning, worth of, like, dreaming and wanting to execute and just do. So where I want a group of people to go with me, I'm okay if it's just me by myself. If people want to join me in walking, I will always welcome the company. But there are times where I like the solitude of just getting out on the trail by myself, getting out into the forest, stopping, meditating, enjoying the serenity of disconnecting to reconnect with myself. So, I don't know. I'm just going to kind of keep it casual with these people who are saying that they want to do that. If anyone out of everyone, I would like to have my niece go with me. I think that it would be an amazing experience just for the two of us to have that. She loves hiking, and she she does 15, 20 miles in a day just because she can. And I know that I would be holding her back quite a bit, but I think it would also be fun if it was something that her and I could do together. But I haven't brought that up to her as of yet because she's got a lot of things going on in her world, and she's making plans for her future, and I don't want my maybes to hold her back. So if and when the time comes that I am ready to do this and she is in a place that she can or would do this with me, I would welcome her to be by my side. But yeah. Anyways, there's a lot more that I want to talk about and want to cover, but we just went over the 30-minute mark, and I guess I'm going to save it for the podcast. So tune into the podcast tomorrow. And yeah, if you haven't done so, hit like and subscribe. And remember what I say all the time: you're doing the best you can with what you have available to you. Don't add to the population, don't subtract from the population. And in a world full of Karens and Wallaces who are wall punchers, be better, be authentic, be kind and compassionate, and give to the world more than you take. So until next time, guys, I will talk to you then. Bye, everyone.